Biden just signed a bill into law today boosting domestic semiconductor production and research in the United States. Top tech executives attended that signing in an apparent push to make the United States more competitive with China. The legislation aims to alleviate a semiconductor shortage in the U.S. that has affected everything from cars to video games.
That was President Biden signing the CHIPS and Science Act into law almost 3 years ago. The law, which turbocharged domestic manufacturing and scientific research, was a complete game changer for communities all across the country. It took the fight to China, reducing our reliance on their semiconductor industry while strengthening our own supply chains here at home. And it generated new investments that created hundreds of thousands of jobs from Texas to California to Utah to New York. The CHIPS Act delivered for America. In fact, the legislation is so successful that even Republicans can't help but defend it from attacks, even when they come from Trump himself. That's right. Despite all the good that the CHIPS Act has created, despite the benefits that it has brought to communities all throughout the country, President Trump has repeatedly called on Congress to kill the law. Worse still, Trump has claimed credit for investments that were made possible by the CHIPS Act. You can't have it both ways. You can't rail against something and then tout its positive impacts as your own. We're going to call you out for it, especially when your actual record on manufacturing is garbage. Trump's trade war is raising factory costs and costing manufacturing jobs nationwide. So today we are breaking down what the CHIPS Act does, how to defend it from Trump, and how to fight back against lies about which party is actually effective at creating manufacturing jobs. I'm Hannah Muldaven, Deputy Communications Director for the Democrats and your host for today. It's Friday, August 8th, and this is the Democrats' Daily Blueprint. Of course, the CHIPS Act was just one of the many bipartisan laws that Congress enacted under President Biden, including measures to protect communities from gun violence and fix America's crumbling roads and bridges. But when Biden signed the CHIPS Act, it really did usher in a new dawn for American manufacturing. Immediately, it began to unlock over $500 billion, that's trillion with a T, $1 trillion in private sector manufacturing investments. Thanks to the CHIPS and Science Act, we're projected to triple our semiconductor manufacturing capacity and lead the world in sector growth. That means that more good-paying jobs, raising more wages for more families. Here's Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo with a helpful chart.
So this is my favorite chart. This is a chart of semiconductor manufacturing. And as you can see, it was flat forever until President Biden became president and passed the CHIPS and Science Act, and then it skyrocketed. My favorite thing about it is what this means is lots of jobs, literally hundreds of thousands of new manufacturing jobs.
Simply put, the CHIPS and Science Act is a win-win, creating jobs and generating investments in communities. So of course, Trump is trying to scrap the legislation.
You should get rid of the CHIP Act.
There's just one problem. The CHIPS Act is the core driver of why manufacturers have announced investments. The legislation, again, bipartisan legislation, offers stability, steady funding, and the certainty that their investment won't go up in smoke, or more likely, by tweet. The exact opposite of what's happening with Trump. Trump claims he is bringing semiconductor manufacturing back to the US, but it's not him. Spoiler alert, because of this episode, it's the CHIPS Act. The same CHIPS Act that Trump is trying to undo. And the same CHIPS Act that Speaker Johnson trashed on the campaign trail.
Former president has said that he doesn't support the CHIPS and Science Act. You voted against it. If you have a Republican majority in Congress and Trump in the White House, will you guys try to repeal that law?
I expect that we probably will.
Only to walk it back after realizing that his own members support it. So here's the deal. Trump's doublespeak isn't just hypocritical. It has real consequences for American families. Under his presidency, the manufacturing sector has lost 28,000 jobs. Inflation has gone up and is only getting worse. And the chaos and confusion of his administration is disrupting the lives of far too many individuals. But thankfully, there's a better alternative available: Democrats. Across the country, voters are showing up and making their voices heard. They want Democrats in charge. Of the 37 key elections since the beginning of the year, Democrats have won or overperformed in 36 of them. And we have even more of them coming up this November. Yesterday, the DNC announced a $1.5 million investment in New Jersey to help elect Mikey Sherrill for governor and keep the state legislature blue. This goes hand in hand with the $1.5 million investment in Virginia that will help us build out a coordinated campaign and elect Democrats up and down the ballot, including sending Abigail Spanberger to the governor's mansion. Democrats are the party of common sense, of investing in our communities, and passing legislation that improves lives. The CHIPS Act was transformational for hundreds of thousands of American workers and for millions of American consumers who rely on semiconductor chips in their phones, cars, and household appliances. We should be investing in domestic manufacturing, and by electing Democrats, we will. Thanks for joining us today for this episode of the Daily Blueprint. We'll be here right with you on Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern on the DNC's YouTube page. See you then.